Welcome along, everybody. We're back for bronze action, and we're here in Hungary or round 10, something like that. And here we go. Hang on, let me get the stream up so I can see what's going on. I can't see what's going on. Fantastic. There we go. Right, there's the standings. There we are then. Good stuff. We can crack on. Ready to get going then here in Hungary. And yes, there we go then. 186 points for the championship leader. R2 Beat then, who unfortunately isn't racing tonight. Then he's on holiday, I think, or going somewhere, so he's not here. Tom Huffy then in P2 with 142, and Jay Hings in P3 with 130. Then we got somebody else. Bear with me one sec. I'm going to actually open the Discord and actually look at the standings on there because I can't read. It's a bit small on my screen. 105 points for Kydell then in P4. Marsky then with in P5, sorry, with 94. Then we've got Mushroom with 86 in P6. Groove Ninja in P7 with 75. Alongside Irvine with 75 as well, then in P8. Rosa Sky in P9 with 71 then, and Mr. Elite in P10 with 70. There's some more drivers there as well then, but we're going to have to hurry this up. But of course, we will see what happens then here tonight then in Hungary. 280 for Red Bull then in P1 for the Constructors. I can actually read this one on my screen, actually. P2 is Alpine with 217. I can't get rid of it now. And there we go then. Yeah, 217 for Alpine in P2, then 191 for Ferrari in P3. And I think that's about it in terms of going through all of that. And we're ready to start. So there we go then. As yes, Percy says Jay Hings. So Jay Hings twice. So yeah. There we go. Best of luck to all vets for the field tonight then. It says Equaz as well then. And I think he's supporting Mushroom. And then Bazzy says, go on, I'm from Hungary then. Good stuff indeed. And welcome along from Hungary as well then. This is your home Grand Prix, I believe. And we will get this out of the way so we can see what's going on then, and we can get started as we can crack on then with qualifying then to set the grid for the 35 laps of action around the Hungary Ring, which is what it's called. So there we are. And yes, we're just waiting for the drivers to get themselves on with it, because hopefully we'll get started at some point today, and yeah, we can crack on. But we're waiting. We are just waiting. I could have run through the standings for a bit longer then, to be fair, but again, my eyes can't handle it. Not that the drivers are doing a bad job, it's because I'm doing a bad job. But there we go. One day we'll get ourselves started here in Hungary for bronze. We're just waiting for somebody to ready up, and hopefully we can start at some point today. KD said he's hungry for Hungary. And of course, with a race win last night as well, then for KD in silver. So there, right. Fantastic. Well, I could have started the stream a few minutes late. So, we'll wait. One day, the drivers are ready up then. They've been told to ready up then, and they're not readying up yet. So we'll just sit here and wait. But yeah, tell us what you have for dinner. And what you're going to have for your post-race snack as well then, I guess. And one day we'll get going. And oh, there we go. We've finally clocked on then how to ready up then. Hopefully the drivers are more capable of racing around here rather than readying up around here, because that took a long time. But there we go then. Evening flowers, says Mushroom as well then. Thank you very much then for Mushroom then for the flowers. And yeah, we can crack on. Fantastic. Let's hope that this is going to be an exciting one. I need to turn the audio on as well. Bear me 1 second. Trying to find the buttons. There we go. Then we can finally get our way underway. Sorry, for qualifying. And great. Dino is back. He says hello, mate, as well. Then. Good luck in is Dino racing? I don't know if Dino's racing, to be fair, but if you're racing, good luck, and if you're not racing, good luck as well. And hopefully we'll have a interesting race then tonight. Then we are going to get ourselves underway then into qualifying, and it seems like it's going to be a dry qualifying session at least. I had baby food. I'm old, says Mushroom then. Fair play indeed then. That sounds delicious. And we can get ourselves started then here in qualifying. So no R2 beat tonight then. He is the championship leader then. He could be, don't think he's actually at risk of losing his championship lead then, because Tom Huffy then is over 30 points away then in P2 in the Drivers' Championship, so it's not going to be decided tonight in the Hungarian Grand Prix. So we'll wait and see what happens there. So baby food for Mushroom then. I'm sure he enjoyed that then. I'm not sure what flavour baby food comes in now, but whatever flavour you fancy, I'm sure there's a flavour that will be delicious. But anyway, there we go. Right, we'll crack on then. Qualifying is underway then. All drivers are in the garages at the moment, and we will see who's going to be first to blink then in this qualifying session in a moment's time. But there we go then. So yeah, baby food as well then. Fantastic. So we have got a Red Bull coming up, and unfortunately there's only one Red Bull tonight. Then that is because R2B then is on holiday. So hopefully he gets himself out of holiday then, or off holiday as soon as possible. We've also got Jay Hings, who's already got himself out on track then, as has Tom Huffy then, who is looking to close in the gap then to the championship leader of R2 Beat. And let's see what he can do. As we go through Sector 1 then, of course, cruising along on their outlaps then. Jay Hings then looking to return to form then after a difficult race last week out. Can't remember where we were now, to be fair. Was it Belgium? I think it might be Belgium. But yes, so Jay Hings then, of course, is looking to hold on to that P3 in the Drivers' Championship as it stands then, and potentially if Tom Huffy doesn't have a good race, then Jay Hings could pounce then and get back that P2 in the drivers' standings, that is. But of course, it is all to play for then in Hungary then. We've only got... well, thankfully, we've only got 7 rounds to go after this one. So we're well into the second half of the season already. And let's see how it's going to play out then, as Tom Huffy then will set ourselves underway then for qualifying. A lot of traffic coming out of the pit lane there. They need to make sure they don't get in the way then of the speeding Alpine. Heading into turn 1 now then. Let's see what it's like on the traction. Probably smooth and calculated indeed then from the Alpine machine as we head down towards turn 2. Oh god, my food's coming back up. Right then, into turn 3 we go then for Tom Huffy. Then now up the hill we go into turn 4. Then this is where it can get perilous then, this complex of corners. But he's gone through there and he's invalidated. He's gone too wide at the exit of turn 4. Then that has cost him the lap time there, unfortunately, then for the Alpine. Jay Hings has got through there nicely enough indeed, and now through turn 5 then again another treacherous corner, and now into another treacherous corner then of turn 6 and 7 then. Through the chicane we go then, nice and clean for Jay Hings then through there as we head through the middle sector now then, and let's see what he can do then in this final sector as well. Then he's going to be the first driver on track then to set ourselves underway then in this qualifying session, and of course going purple in sector 2 just to mirror that. Evening mate, and good luck all from Housey, I should say. Sorry, Housey, of course, then is looking to keep on the form then, as he's been a regular point scorer then in every race I think so far this season. Let's see where he can go then tonight then. But here comes Jay Hings first. Then Jay Hings to the line is going to set ourselves an 18-1. Well, I thought Jay Hings was going to go faster than that, but let's see what Marsky can do then. Marsky's done a 17.3 and puts himself P1 then. So Jay Hings maybe having a cycle lap then. Real Ashton's already retired in the pit lane, so he is done and dusted in qualifying already, unfortunately. Tom Huffy is going again then in the Alpine. He's running out of fuel then. Shadows has done a 16.9 and puts himself on pole position. The birthday boy, of course, then. Happy birthday to Shadows. And, well, he's looking pretty good indeed tonight then. Venom has retired as well. Then Reaper has done a 16.6 then and gone even faster still then in the Mercedes then, looking strong indeed. And then Reaper then has been improving as the races have gone on this season, as his first league racing season as well then for the Mercedes driver. And he is looking to improve race on race, and the fair play indeed then. So Ruthless Venom's got a qualifying ban. He's out of the qualifying session. Vintage, sorry, starting off a lap. Then we've had somebody else jump up the order. That was Liam with a 16.9, then puts himself on the front row of the grid then as it stands. Fantastic stuff indeed then from Liam as well. Then Serious Mushroom has got confused and got himself out on track. Kydell then has started off a new lap. Then Tom Huffy's done a 15.6, almost a second faster than Reaper then as it stands, and puts himself back on pole position, of course, where he is very accustomed to indeed. And fair play indeed as well. Then Jay Hings is back out on circuit as well. So Jay Hings, I think, is going for 2 attempts here. That's why the first run was just a sighter lap there for the kick salve. Then so as he heads in towards turn 1, then we'll see what he can do then. Hussein has done a 16.4, puts himself P2 ahead of the Mercedes then, and his teammate who are on the second row now is coming back to the pits and his shadows as well. Then Marvsky's back out on circuit too. Then well, I think he stayed out on circuit actually. He hasn't gone back out. He hasn't gone back in, sorry, I should say. Then he's gone back out and he stayed back out. Then Jay Hings has abandoned his time. He's got damage then to that right end plate, which is a problem indeed. Tom Huffy, I think, has run out of fuel. And so he did do 2 runs there, didn't he? But unfortunately, that second run then has cost him his fuel tank. Groove Ninja's on a 16.0 then, so it's Alpine front row then as it stands. And here comes Kydell. Well, no, unfortunately, Kydell's invalidated his time, so we'll come back to him. Then Mushroom's on track though in the other Ferrari. Then heading through sector 2, then into sector 3. Let's see what Mushroom can do. He's gone purple then in sector 2. Then that is looking promising indeed for the Magic Mushroom as we head into turn 13. Then let's see what he can do then in this lap, then this first sighter lap then of the session. And we'll find out now as he rounds turn 14, the final corner then to finish the lap. Then let's see where the Mushroom's going to go. Then it's going to be a 16.7 and puts himself onto the third row of the grid then in P5. Very good stuff indeed. And here comes Marsky. Then Marsky does not improve then on his previous time. Then he stays P8 by 1,000th of a second as well then. So unfortunate then for Marsky. But still in the higher echelons then. Vintage has done a 17.4, then puts himself P9 as it stands as well then. Sand back out on circuit 2, then heading through the final corner to start off his first flying lap then of the qualifying session. Kydell back in the pit then after abandoning that time and invalidating that time as well for the other Ferrari driver then. And there we go, Tom Huffy I think has just finally, oh no, that's Groove Ninja making his way back to the pit lane there as well then. Good stuff indeed. Vintage, I think Vintage is going again, is he? He looks like he's trying to go again then. He's got the battery deployed, then he's got the DRS open as well as we head down towards turn 2. San is further along then, so we'll go on board then with the Mercedes driver then as we head through into sector 2 now as well. Then let's see what San's first time on the board will be then. San has been hit and miss unfortunately in the previous qualifying sessions so far this season, but he's had some fantastic race results indeed as well then, so hopefully he can mirror that then here in Hungary tonight. We will find out then, of course, as the race unfolds then after qualifying in 10 minutes time or so, or 11 minutes time really, and however long it takes for the drivers to sort their strategies out as well, to be fair. As we head into sector 3 then, finishing off the lap then, let's see where San can go then in the Mercedes then. Can he rival his teammate then in P4 currently then? We'll find out as he crosses the line then in just 1 corner's time. As at rounding turn 14 we go then for the Mercedes driver then. Let's see where this is going to put him then on his first outing around the circuit. It's P5 right behind his teammate by 0.5 of a second, and very good stuff indeed from San then on the third row of the grid as it stands as well then. There's a lot of cars coming out of the pit lane. They're going a bit slowly then. I don't think they realise that that Mercedes is done and dusted on their lap as well. And so he is finished, and we can crack on then. Oh my God, what is going on there? A lot of weaving from the Aston Martin and Mr. Elite then, and there's a lot of traffic building up as well then, with Jay Hings coming out of the pit lane right behind them. And what is happening here then? They're all racing, it looks like, in qualifying, so that's great stuff indeed. Well, I don't know what they're doing, to be honest, because, well, Sam just needs to get out of the way because he doesn't need to compete with this lot. Right then, Kydell is on a lap as well. Then he's just restarting another lap. There's so much traffic coming out of the pit lane. I'm not sure what is going on down at Bronze End, but they haven't figured out the the pit lane exit just yet, have they? But there we go. Then there's Wabstappen also on a lap as well. Then Housie heading through into sector 2. And looking to get his first time on the board as well. And he's gone purple though in sector 1. That's promising stuff indeed then from Housie then. Where is Irvine then? Irvine's not burning much battery then in this lap then, so we'll come back to him then. Behave yourself, gentlemen, says KD. And Very rightly so indeed. There's yellow flags all over the place then for somebody then. I'm not sure what is going on there. Not Liam. It's not Liam. It's Hussein then who's come out on track as well. Then I think as part of that gaggle then they're all having to sort themselves out then. There's Groove Ninja's also on an lap. And Tom Huffy starting a lap then. So we'll come back to him as well then. Where is the Irvine? There he is. The Irvine heading to the line, and again not much battery burnt then. It's an 18.5 for Irvine, but again not using the battery pack to his advantage there, so never mind. Reaper then starting off on another lap as well. Then we've just had somebody jump up the order. That was Housie with a 17.0. Tom Huffy, no, it's Kydell with a 16.1, puts himself on the second row of the grid. Then does improve, does get a valid lap in this time then, and puts himself into the higher echelons as well there. Jay Hing starting at, well, he's going through a lap, sorry, in sector 2. That was his teammate Wab Stappen, who's gone straight on at turn 1 there. He has got himself a time on the board, an 18.5 I should say, but it's, well, I don't think that's his best time that he could do so far, but he's just crawling around the circuit now at this point. Hopefully he's alright, he can get himself back underway. Liam then is, not Liam, it's Hussein, sorry, who's starting off a lap there, but we've got an Alpine then. That's an Alpine of Tom Huffy, who's done a 15.0 and improves almost to a second then to his teammate then in P2. Fantastic stuff indeed then. Hussein then is on a lap as well. Then we've got, where have we got Jay Hings then? Jay Hings has finished the lap, then he stays P11 for now, though I do think he improved. Oh no, he did improve to P11 I should say. Then it's a 17.1 then for Jay Hings. Good stuff indeed. We've got McLaren then next of Irvine. Then he's done a 17.6 this time, 0.8 of a second faster, but he's still not used much of the battery. So maybe he's just doing a bit of a race run out there then, to be honest, it seems at this point. Reaper then I think has improved then to P4 then with a 16.3. Why is Tom Huffy still in bronze then? Surely he needs to be moved then, and yes, he will be. But of course, as all drivers then will be happy to hear, if you are a bronze driver then at the start of the season, then you stay in bronze till the end of the season, because we are not twats. So I don't know what. So Marsky improves to P6. Great stuff indeed. Oh no, Shadow's P6 now. But fair play to Tom Huffy then, as I was saying in the Discord earlier as well then. Of course, he was definitely not at this sort of pace before as well then, so fair play indeed for the improvements and the work that he's put in to get himself as quick as possible then as well then, and credit to him as well then, as all drivers then should take a leaf out of Tom Huffy's book. He's done a brilliant job then in terms of just focusing on his performances and getting what he can get out of the races as well, and he has definitely improved as we go through this season as well then. Fair play indeed. Groove Ninja then in P2, making it an Alpine front row then as it stands as well then, looking strong. And yes, we go. Bruh, Huffy too quick for bronze. Did he beat silver pole from yesterday then? I'm not sure who was on pole yesterday. I was too far back. But there we go. Hussein unfortunately has validated his time then. Shadow's coming back to the pit lane, as is Marsky as well then. San is on track though. No, he's not. He's gone P8 then, but he's going back to the pit lane as well. Dan as well then, as in P12. Is going to start another lap then. I thought he was going to finish another lap. Then there's a teammate of Irvine then is coming through sector 2. There's a police siren outside my window, so hopefully they come and arrest me. And there we go. As Irvine then is going through sector 2 now, then let's see where Irvine can go. And yes, well, he is looking pretty strong indeed then. Irvine then heading through into sector 3. Oh, dearie me, we just caught that on stream then. Very sorry, Irvine, but unfortunately that's a spin and a half then as well. But he kept it out of the wall very nicely indeed, but unfortunately it has cost him a bit of lap time there, hasn't it? Dan, his teammate then, unfortunately has invalidated his time going through into sector 2, and I think there's damage to that right end plate then for the McLaren driver as well then somewhere. Yeah, there is. So he's going to have to sort that out as well, unfortunately, for the McLaren team. Then it's not going too well on that lap then, but they're back in the pit, or can get back to the pit lane and go again. Then they've got 4.5 minutes to get themselves sorted and back out on track. Then San is back out on track, then heading through into sector 2 momentarily. Then let's see what the Delta is saying. Then he has found 0.4 of a second, which would rival the third row of the grid then as it stands. That there's still 2 more sectors to go for him to find more time. So let's see what he can do then through the chicane we go. bumping over the curves a bit, then that's unsettled the car then as he goes through the second part of the chicane, now heading through sector 2. Let's see where he can go then. He's looking to improve then. He was improving quite quickly indeed in the first sector. Can he keep it all together then into sector 3? Then he's always just under 0.4 of a second, then that would still put him in contention for that P5 position as it stands then, heading into the last 2 corners of the lap. Then let's see where San can go then in the Mercedes, and he will be very close, I think, as it stands with his teammate then if he finishes the lap then as he was in the second sector. Then up to the line for San, then what's it going to be? Is a 16.2. Then he does beat his teammate 4.5 of a second, then improvement from San then puts him on a 16.222. Fantastic. Well, there we go. Right then, Housy's improved as well then to a 16.6 and puts himself up into P9 then for the Racing Bull. Looking strong indeed then. Mushroom back out on circuit then. Kydell also on a lap as well. They're heading through the first turn. Then let's see what Kydell can do. I think Kydell is the next driver across the line. Yes, he is. So we'll go on board then with the Ferrari then heading through turn 2. As down the hill we go. There's a few drivers ahead of him, I think, coming back in from their previous laps then. Let's see what Kydell can do then into sector 2. What is that delta saying then? This time he's 0.2 of a second up. He's gone purple then in sector 1. And 0.2 of a second would put him in the mix then for the front row of the grid, then ahead of Groove Ninja as it stands. Well, that's as it stands, of course. It could change even more. But I don't know what I'm talking about because that's what I do every week, every Wednesday. Heading through sector 2 then, Kydell then into sector 3 in just a jiffy. And keeping that car under control, then 0.4 gain then in the first 2 sectors, and that will put him right in contention as well then for that, for holding on to that P2 position as well then, because Groove Ninja is going to have to find some big improvements as well then if he wants to try and steal it away then from Kydell. Then can Kydell keep it all clean then through the final 2 turns? And he's got a bit wide at the final corner, heading to the line then. Let's see what it's going to be. It's a 15.7. He finds 3.5, puts himself P2 onto the front row of the grid. Fantastic. Well, that's good. Here comes Mushroom as well in the other Ferrari. Then let's see. This might be the final runs then for in qualifying for the Ferrari team. Heading to the line then does Mushroom. Then let's see where he's going to go. Then it's going to be a 16.3. Puts himself on the third row of the grid. Then in P6 then for the Mushroom. Brilliant stuff indeed. Did you know identical twins do not have the same fingerprints? Well, that is a mystery that I am going to have to delve deeper into after this race, then, aren't I? Goodness me, Sean, then you really spice us up with all the facts, then, don't you? As Anarchy Reaper is back out on circuit as well, then. Wow, I'm blown away by that fact. It's incredible. Housey is retired, and he's in the pit lane, and he is done and dusted in qualifying. Then P10 at best, then for Housey, then as it stands. We've got more pit lane action, I think, haven't we? Going out of the pit lane. No, I think we're all sorted then. That's good. Good stuff indeed. Then we've had Hussein jump up to P3 with a 15.799 and looking pretty strong indeed. Then where is Groove Ninja? The Groove Ninja has not retired. He has invalidated is what I mean. But I think he's trying to go again. Then he's going to try and get one more lap out of this one. So he went out in time then to start off a second attempt. And even if the first one did not work, then Kydell starting off another lap as well. Then let's see what he can do. Then can he rival Tom Huffy for that pole position? Mushroom then is coming back round. But I think he's coming back to the pit lane, unfortunately. Then there's Mushroom. So he's not got enough fuel on board to go for another attempt. There's Mushroom, but it's going to be P6 at best then. And that's not too shabby indeed. Then here comes Shadows then rounding that final corner of the birthday boy. Let's see where he can go then. It's a 16.2 at P6 then for Shadows then up into the third row of the grid then. But he's been knocked down by Reaper. Then he's on a 16.1 and puts himself P5 ahead of his teammate. Marvsky then is going to stay in P9 for now. Then Jay Hings improves to P11, I should say then. Ahead of Dan, who does not improve on his previous time. Then Liam then could try and get himself another time on the board. Then Vintage is P14. Mr. Elite has found a wall. And oh dear me, I'm facing the wrong way at the start of sector 3 then. Tom Huffy's gone in a 14.9, not a 19.4. And 14.9 then improves on that pole position. Liam then stays P12 as we go through here then. What is Groove Ninja going to say then? Can he find the time then to improve then into the front row, onto the front row? He finds the time, but he stays P4 there, does Groove Ninja then for the Alpine machine. Then Hussein then will finish P3. Kaidel is back in the pit lane. He is going to be P2 on the front row of the grid then. Mr. Elite is not having a good time on the track in qualifying, let's just say that there. Unfortunately for Mr. Elite, he is back in the pit lane now though. I didn't know that, but what I do know is have on my fingerprints is a burger. Ah, well there we go. A man after my own burger. Fantastic. Tom Huffy's on pole position. Kaidel then in P2 then, front row then of an Alpine and Ferrari. Then Hussein in P3, Groove Ninja P4, Reaper and San make up row 3 for Mercedes. Shadows in P7, the birthday boy. Then Mushroom in P8 then on the 4th row of the grid. Then Marsky and Housey make up row 4 or 5. Goodness me. Jay Hings and Liam then on row 6. Dan and Vintage on row 7. Yes, I'll run through the proper classification when it pops up on my screen, but that's the rundown. And well, we'll see what we're going to get in the race as well then, because we haven't got any inkling if it's going to be raining or not then, but there we are then. There is the top 10 classification then. So Dan and Vintage P13 and 14 then, that's row 7. Mr. Elite and Irvine on row 8 then, and Wabstap and Venom on row 9. Real Ashton then, unfortunately no time on the board then for him, as he stays P19. Is that MHD and on account in pole? Then says Equaz in. Maybe it's his other account. Yeah, that's fair. Good stuff indeed. But there we are then. Well, you can welcome Tom Huffy to gold at the end of this season then. So yeah, we'll be racing against him. Interesting stuff indeed. But there we go. But no, fair play indeed. Tom Huffy then has massively improved in this first half of the season, well, into the second half of the season now actually. Has been unlucky in some races with technical difficulties and spins and incident things and that sort of thing as well though. So yeah, you've got to make sure you get the points in the Grand Prix itself, don't you then? As that's where I'm amazing. Obviously, I always get points every race I do, apart from if it's in Belgium. Right then, we are just going to set the grid. That we've set the grid already. Actually, we're going to set the strategies then. And Hussein has left the session. That's not good news. Not good news for our pole. No, our not pole sitter. Our P3 sitter then. Ethan Rowley said, "Good luck all bronze drivers as well." Then from Rosa. Then Rosa, of course, then is stuck at work, so hopefully he will be released from his workplace so that he can race next week. Where are we next week? Zandvoort, I think. That'll be interesting. It's 2 technical tracks on the back to back then as well. Then of course Hungary and Zandvoort. Then very interesting stuff indeed. And that's what the F1 calendar has decided to put together as well. Then they used to have something in between, didn't they, as well? But I can't remember what it was now. Right, we're underway. Formation lap is cruising along. And well, hard compound tyres then for 2 drivers. Then everybody else is opting for the medium compound tyres as well. Then so that is going to be quite interesting indeed to see how that goes. I'm hoping some birthday cake from Shadows then, says Ginger Age. Then well, that's if he wants to share. Then I think well, sharing a birthday cake with Ginger Age then would be a delight, but also a very difficult thing, because I'm sure he would like to eat all of it. But that's me being very mean there. But nonetheless, well, it depends what's in the cake, I suppose. You can have a vegetable cake. Maybe I wouldn't want to eat that, to be fair either. A carrot cake is some of it's all right, but the carrot bit isn't. So, but there we go. Right then. Kaidel then is going to, Tom Huffy's going to lead us away then in P1 then on the medium compound tyres. Kaidel then has opted for the hard compound tyres in P2 then. So he is looking for a longer first stint then, and will probably inherit the lead of the Grand Prix as well. When the medium runners have to pit then as well. Then Dan then in P13. Has opted for the hard compound tyres for the McLaren team then as well. Then so we'll wait and see then what he can do at this from this point on. But of course it's going to be a slower first stint potentially for those on the hard compound tyres then than those on the mediums, who are the rest of the grid pretty much, because only 2 drivers have opted for a different strategy here. Carrot cake said, "Is that a ginger joke then?" Oh, I didn't even think about the ginger joke, but yes, I suppose you could also have a ginger cake, couldn't you? So yes, ginger cake. There you are then. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. My little ginger cake. There we are. Right then, formation lap eventually will be done. I'm not quite sure what the situation is for Tom Huffy, but why he decides to take such a long time doing his formation laps. But nonetheless, eventually we will be ready to get going then here in Hungary as well. Then, but once we get started, we will wait and see that because Farhadi then is not in the car. I don't think he's rejoined the session, unfortunately. So he needs to get himself back in. Then he might be having some technical difficulties then as well. Then, but we will park ourselves on the grid and get ourselves ready then for the start of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And there we are. Right, one day we'll get 5 red lights. Here we go. 4. Here we go. 5 red lights on in Hungary then, and away we go then for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's a good start, I think, then from Tom Huffy on the medium compound tyres. There's a lot of ghosting going on there as we head in towards turn 1. I think it's all sorted itself out now. Oh, it's a late braking move then from Shadders, and Shadders has had a storming start then as well as we head through turn 1 then. Kydell then has maintained position on the hard compound tyres then, and here comes Shadders trying to go down the inside of the Alpine of Groove Ninja, who's up one place then. Hussein has tumbled down then after not being in the session, unfortunately, there. But everyone else, I think, has scampered their way through then nicely enough, it seems. And as we head down towards turn 4, or up towards turn 4, is there going to be anybody to sneak through here then? No, not quite then. They all stay as they were, I think, just about then. Liam has gained 2 places, then he's gone a bit wide, then on the power, then Jay Hings has snuck through, as has Mr. Elite, and they're going to go side by side through the chicane. That's just a squeeze, isn't it? But they made it through somehow. Jay Hings has gained a place from that as well, then up into P10, then into the top 10 goes the Kicksauer, then looking to gain some places then in his first few laps as well there. Reaper has lost out to his teammate then, unfortunately, then, and Mushroom has had a stalling start then, as has Shadows, then up 3 places each then for the Racing Bull and the Ferrari. As we head into the final couple of corners then to finish off the first lap of the session, then everybody seems to have got through unscathed, apart from Hussein, then, who didn't take the race start, then he is not in the session, unfortunately. Kydell then, Tom Huffy sets the fast lap of the race, then Kydell has dropped almost out of that 1 second window, but of course he's on the hard compound tyres, then he will come back to the race leader then, of course, when those tyres of the Alpine start to fade earlier on than the hard compound runners as well then. Liam and Mr. Elite are having a battle through turn 1 then. Mr. Elite's coming back at him, then down towards turn 2. He's got the inside line. Has he? Oh, God, it's going to be close indeed as round the outside swoops Liam then, but he's almost spun the car then, and he's managed to keep it going the right way then, but Mr. Elite has snuck through. McLaren's are switching places then. Dan lets Irvine go through then. I think there's some team orders down, papaya rules and all of that rubbish. There we go, nearly swore there, but there we go. Good stuff indeed. Kydell then is P2 then. He's trying to hold on then to Tom Huffy then, but of course there is a tyre difference there as well. Then we'll switch onto the tyres at the end of this lap as well to see what is going on then, but there's only 2 drivers on the hard compound, and that is Kydell then in P2, who has maintained position quite nicely indeed, and Dan as well then, who's lost out 1 place, but that's to his teammate after letting him go through then. So the team orders down at McLaren. Mr. Elite back in Goldway, says Ekraz then as well. Then Mr. Elite is up into P11 then, of course, chasing down Jay Hings for the top 10 positions. Huffy sets the fastest lap of the race then. Kydell then is trying to keep up then, but of course it's just dropped out of that 1 second window. I think Groove Ninja also dropped out of Kydell's DRS range as well, and he hasn't got that rear wing open, has he there? Shadows then up into P4 then, is chasing after the podium places. He has got DRS on Groove Ninja then. Same for Mushroom in P5. Reaper, no, it's not Reaper then. Sand is off the circuit. What's happened to Sand? He's had a spin at the exit of turn 1 then, trying to get the car back on the island. But he's lost out then as well then, unfortunately then for Sand, and he's back underway, but that might have cost him a lot of tyre wear as well. Then he has got damage then to the end plates of that Mercedes, unfortunately, as well then for Sand, which is a big shame indeed then. Groove Ninja's now caught back up to Kydell then. Shadows has dropped out of the DRS of the top 3 as it stands, and as we head through sector 2 then on lap 3 then. I said I was going to switch to the tyres, but I forgot. There we go. Right, there we are then. 2 drivers on the hard compound tyres, and they are looking to motor along then for a longer first stint then here in Hungary, as we'll see how it goes then as well then. Thank God for ghosting there, says KD as well then. Well, we're trying to figure out some ghosting because we've got a problem for Dan then in sector 2. He has had a bit of a spin, it looks like, then, but he's back underway. And I think he's got away with no damage as well then to the car, then just a damage to the Pride, unfortunately, there, but that can be restored, don't worry. Well, mine can't, but there we are. I've done too many naughty things there. Irvine has passed Liam. No, what's happened to Liam then? He's had a problem then at the start of the lap as well there. That's interesting. Shadows has been passed by Mushroom. There's more yellow flags on the main straight. Venom has passed Vintage. Into the pits comes San. And, well, it's all happening on lap 4. Goodness me. Right then. So Tom Huffy leads by 2 seconds then, but of course Kydell then we're expecting to chase after him then in the next few laps when those mediums start to drop off then. San is into the pit lane then to service the car, then he's got a new front wing on that car as well then, and away he goes then. Hussein unfortunately not in the lobby still, as hopefully he can get himself back in and get those interwebs working again. Then Jay Hings is up to P9 then chasing after Marsky, then they've dropped Mr. Elite for the time being just out of that 1 second window, as Mr. Elite got himself back in that 1 second window now anyway, so that's all good. As we go through then into sector 3 then on the lap 4, on the 4th lap I should say. Mushroom is up to P4. So it's an Alpine 1 and 3 and a Ferrari 2 and 4 as it stands. But Shadows might be looking to try and get that spot back then from the Ferrari driver then as we go through into lap 5 with the aid of some DRS then. Out in front, Kydell then is doing a brilliant job then on those hard compound tyres then. He is keeping the gap then to the medium runners behind him, and he is going to start to slowly close in then on the race leader then as well. Then as those tyres start to drop off, then they start to drop off pretty much now, don't they then? Liam is in the pit lane. Liam calling it a day then on the medium compound tyres, so potentially going to be a 2-stop here then. Vintage has passed Venom for P12 then, and here comes Verstappen down the inside as well. He can't quite get it done then, it doesn't look like. Then into turn 2 then, he's got DRS but he's too far back to make a move then into turn 2, so Venom holds on to P13 then. Kydell's got a 3-second penalty then. Hussein has joined. Liam is in the pits then for a new front wing I think there as well. Then Verstappen has passed Venom then. Oh, Venom's gone for a spin then. What's happened to Venom then at the exit of turn 3? Was there contact between the Kick Sauber and the Aston Martin? We don't know then, we just have to speculate, and it's only speculation, don't worry. But Venom then back underway then. Liam in the pit lane has got himself back underway. Then there's a problem then for Dan at turn 5. Then he's off the circuit again then, unfortunately for Dan. And this time I think he has got front wing damage there to the right end plate then of that McLaren. And that is going to be costly indeed then. And he's going to have to come into the pit lane to service that car for sure. And we're seeing a few drivers then getting those warnings and getting those issues then with the curbs around this circuit. Then it is a treacherous circuit indeed. 2 seconds to gap then. But on Kydell, actually, he's got a penalty, hasn't he then? Oh, he's got picked up a 3-second penalty on his Kydell. That's going to be costly indeed then for his ambitions then in this race. Then we'll wait and see then how it's going to play out then as well. Reaper and Shadows then. Shadows is starting to be put under pressure, I should say, then from Reaper then and Housey. Both the Racing Bulls then in the mix as well then for that P5 position. Then Venom's in the pit lane to service the car. We've got a problem then. Tom Huffy's off the circuit. Tom Huffy's had an issue at turn 3 then. Goodness me, what's happened to the race leader? Then the pole sitter has had a problem there, and he's back underway, but he's lost out to his teammate as well here. And unfortunately for Tom Huffy then, he is not... Oh no, what's happened there? Oh, did Groove Ninja get an illegal overtake on his teammate then? Or was that team orders then to let him back through then? Goodness me, then that was a pretty excessive team order from Alpine, wasn't it? Well, they have switched roles, and well, there we go then. So Tom Huffy then with that spin then has cost him the lead of the Grand Prix. 2 seconds the gap then to Kydell then. But of course, well, it's a bit of roles reversed, isn't it now? Venom has come out right behind Sam, and he's on hard compound tyres then and back underway. Couple of drivers then having a few issues out there then, unfortunately then Dan is soldiered on with those with that front wing damage, and he's going to carry on then, it looks like, for the McLaren, and just see what he can do on those hard compound tyres, and potentially his goal hanging for a safety car. Thank God for ghosting, says KD then. Yes, indeed. I can't remember what that was for, but there we go. But yes, indeed. Right then, Tom Huffy then is, we're still setting some pace then, as Reaper has passed Shadows into turn 1, or has he? Because Shadows has got the inside line. Reaper then has got the DRS then, and has made his way through into turn 2. Then up into P5 then goes the Mercedes driver. Shadows down to P6, now being chased by his teammate Housey, then Marsky, Jay Hings, Mr. Elite, Irvine all in the mix as well there, as they all drive up the hill, or head up the hill towards turn 4. And there we go then, Irvine then in the mix as well then for some points then, of course, points down to 15th place then in this race then, so it is not all done and dusted just yet then, as we go on to lap 7 then. 2 seconds the gap then. It's being held quite steady now for Kydale, so potentially those hard compound tyres then firstly have warmed up then, and secondly are going to be the better tyre potentially now compared to the medium compound. We'll wait and see then how it all plays out then throughout the race then. What we're going to see in terms of strategies we will find out soon. Jay Hings then is in this train then right behind Reaper then for the P5 position. Shadows though is starting to struggle I think on those medium compound tyres, and after a fantastic start then is going to be coming under pressure from his teammate here as well. Then he's not got DRS then to the Mercedes ahead, and that will be costly indeed because Howsey might be able to make the jump then with the aid of the DRS then for the second Red Bull Racing Bull on track I should say. And here he goes then, it looks like in towards turn 1 then. Shadows has not got DRS to defend. Oh dear me, Howsey giving him a squeeze going through turn 1, but has made the pass, or has he? Because Shadows then with the exit on turn 1 has got himself back in the mix. No, not quite. And here comes Marsky down the inside then. Racing Bull against Red Bull then around the outside. Shadows tries to hold the position. He has held the position. Very nicely done indeed. Yellow flags though for Dan Dan's in the pit lane. We've got Shadows has been passed by Marsky into turn 4 then. Goodness me. And, well, that was an ambitious move then. I'm not sure what's happened there. We've had Venom, I think, having an issue. He's got himself back underway. There's no damage. Dan Dan's in the pit lane. Then Hussein has passed Real Ashton for P14. Venom has passed Dan Dan. Dan Dan's pit now and to service that front wing and then get a new set of mediums on the car as well. Goodness me. Nice to see Reaper doing well then. Fair play indeed then, says Dino as well. Then, yeah, Reaper has seriously improved then since his first league race. I think it was down in, where was it? Bahrain? Have we done Bahrain? Yeah, I think it was Bahrain was Reaper's first league race in bronze. And yes, he is coming on leaps and bounds, quite literally indeed, as we go through then into turn 4 then, turn 14, and Reaper might be looking to line up a move then for that P4 position as well. Then could Reaper be on for his first podium then of his racing career in ALR? Then we'll wait and see. Oh, it's a late move there, but Mushroom then was ahead then and just cuts him off then heading into the first corner then as well. Then Mushroom holds on to P4 for now, that is. All of these battles then in the midfield as well. Then Howsey now is the cork in the bottle. Then I thought we had somebody going for a move there, but no, not quite. Jay Hings then holding on to P9 with Mr. Elite then, and Irvine putting the pressure on. Then Wab Stappen then has dropped to the back of this pack then, but of course maybe just conserving the fuel, the tyres and the ERS as well then. There's a lot of conservation that needs to go on here in Hungary tonight then as well then, so that's probably what's going on down there. Liam and Sand then, Venom as well then, and Dan all trying to play catch up after unenforced stops, or enforced stops, I can't remember what they're called now, but they're whatever it is, they had to make a stop. In a nutshell then, Tom Huffy then is looking to try and get himself back in contention. He's gone very wide then into turn 12, on the exit of turn 12, then into turn 13, but that might have been costly indeed. Then he is keeping it under control for now. Then the gap 4 seconds to his teammate now. Mushroom and Reaper then are in the background there, then they're closing in, but so is Howsey as well here then in the Racing Bull, and Marsky's been brought along with him. Then Shadows has been dropped then by the pair of them, and Shadows starting to struggle on those medium compound tyres. Now Jay Hings might look to pounce as well for that P8 position. Here comes Reaper then down the inside into turn 1 with the Aidison DRS, and he's up into P4. Is he, or is Mushroom going to get the switch back then into turn 1 on the exit of turn 1? I don't think so, because DRS then available for the Mercedes, and Vintage is in the pit lane, calling it a day then on the medium compound tyres then down at Williams. So Mushroom then has conceded the place then to Reaper. Vintage in the pits then will come out. Where will he come out then? It'll be close with Liam on the exit here then. Let's see what he can do. Can he stay ahead then of the charging Haas? As we head into turn 1 then, Vintage has gone very late then on the brakes then, but he's held on to the position then. He's P15 on the fresh hard compound tyres. Good stuff indeed then. Right, the gap starting to emerge a bit more than out in front then. 2.2 seconds then is the gap between Kydale. Then the hard compound tyre is definitely going to be the better tyre than from this point on there, but we've got 3 drivers now on the hard compound tyres. Only 2 started on the hard compound tyres in this race as well then, so yes, we'll wait and see then how it all plays out then as well in terms of the strategy. But Mushroom then trying to hold on to that 1 second gap then as well then to make sure he gets the DRS then on the Mercedes driver as we head into lap 11. Kydell leads the way by 2.2 seconds there as well then. Groove Ninja then, will he have to think about his pit stop then? Will he try and undercut his teammate? Because of course he doesn't want to double stack then behind Tom Huffy, does he? As we head into the pit stop window, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm not sure to be honest, but who knows. There we go then. Shadows then has unfortunately lost out to the battle after getting up to P4 then in the opening laps, and he's starting to struggle now unfortunately. Jay Hings. Oh, we got a car off then. That's Irvine who's off the circuit. He's gone into the wall twice there. And he's managed to keep his front wing intact, but unfortunately that has cost him a lot of time. And wow, goodness me, then trying to get on the power as early as possible, and it's very difficult from the exit of turn 1. Trust me, I know. But he has managed to get himself back underway then. He didn't lose out too much as well. He did lose a bit of time, but he didn't lose any positions. So that's good news indeed. Both Kick Saubers then in a bit of a, well, Mr. Elite, sorry, in a bit of a Kick Sauber sandwich as it stands. But they are chasing after Shadows for that P8 position. And we will wait and see what happens here then. Reaper then is storming off then. He's looking to chase down Groove Ninja for the final podium place here is Reaper then. Could he be on the cards? I said it earlier then, but he could be on the cards for a first podium of his racing career then for the Mercedes driver then. Let's see if he can hold on to that then. Lap 12 then, 2.2 seconds the gap then out in front then. Groove Ninja then, I think it's starting to struggle on his medium compound tyres. He is dropping back then. Reaper is actually gaining on him then in these last few laps and as well then. Here comes Housie on the charge then. Can he try and charge after Mushroom then into turn 1? He's going to go down the inside. Oh God, that's close indeed. Mushroom does not want to leave the spacer. And that's my Alonso impression. But there we go then. Mushroom holds on then. Housie, can he dive down the inside here? No, not quite then. He stays P6 as it stands at the moment then. So, well, there we go then. In the race report that Housie's going to do after this race then, I'm sure he's going to send Christmas card list and update it, and Mushroom's going to be taken off the list. No, I'm just joking. Don't worry, Mushroom. You're still on my Christmas card list at least. Liam is retired from the race. He's in the pits. Wab Stappen has passed Jay Hings, and they've both passed Mr. Elite then. Was there some sort of situation going on down at the battle here then? But Wab Stappen is now the lead Kick Sauber here then. Liam is out of the Grand Prix in the pit lane then, so there's not going to be any safety car for that then, thankfully. But unfortunately, that's one retirement so far in this race then. Only on lap 12 then. We've got another 2/3 of the race to go pretty much. Although my maths is probably not correct there, but never mind. Vintage has passed his teammate then, so Vintage now on the fresh hard compound tyres then has been let go then by his teammate then to power along then. Let's see what's going to happen out in front then. It looks like a one-stop strategy is on the cards for the majority of the drivers. Come on, Reaper then, you're doing well then. Proud of you as well then, says Dino as well then. Reaper then is catching up then for that final podium place. He's only just a few thousandths of a second away then. Here comes Housie then down the inside at turn 1 this time. He's a bit further ahead this time than he was on the previous lap. Then he snuck through and up into P5. Mushroom then P6, then Marsky in P7. Shadows then is 3 seconds back. Then into the pits comes Irvine. Then Irvine is going. He's got a new front wing going on. That's a problem for Irvine. Then can he get those hard compound tyres to the end of the Grand Prix? We'll wait and see then. But he's now coming out of the pit lane behind Vintage. Mushroom has been passed by Marsky. Then into turn 4 of all places. Thank goodness me. Going for the ambitious moves. The Red Bulls and Racing Bulls. It looks like then Jay Hings then is in P10. Then Mr. Elite then is starting to drop back as well. Then those medium compound tyres are probably getting worse for wear than for most of these drivers out there, and they're going to having to be thinking about a pit stop in the near future, I'm sure. But Tom Huffy's doing a good job of trying to hold on to Kydell's pace then as well as we go through into the next lap, which is going to be lap 14. No pit stops then for the top two. Then Groove Ninja might be praying for a pit stop at some point soon. And but he's staying out as well then. But Reaper then is going to be on the back of him going through the final turn then, and here he is, and here he comes lining up a move for P3. Then here comes the Mercedes with DRS then down towards turn 1. He's going to be passed before the braking zone here as he gets his way up into P3, and well, could he be on for it? Then I don't want to jinx it then. Hussein is in the pit lane. He is calling it a day on his medium compound tyres. Then Wab Stappen has passed Shadows for P8 then. So Wab Stappen is on a charge now and heading through into the next part of the race. And of course, it's not a question of maybe outright pace. Then we saw Shadows having a fantastic start, but it's fallen away unfortunately for the birthday boy at this stage. but of course he might come back to him. And yeah, so it's all about keeping those tyres alive for as long as possible then as well. This stint is a very long old stint as we go through into turn 1, and round the outside we've got a yellow flag. It's a Ferrari then. It's a Ferrari of Kydell then. Kydell's had a spin in sector 2. Goodness me. He's gone off the circuit, then he's going to come back on. Well, he is back on. He's got damage as well to the Ferrari car then. Goodness me, Kydell then. It's gone from good to bad then, or whatever the other term is. But well, Tom Huffy's back in the lead, so that's good news for Tom Huffy. Then he's coming into the pit lane now, and I think Kydell, unfortunately, will have to make a pit stop as well here to service that car as well. Then he's had a problem then in sector 2, damaged the front wing, and will hopefully have to get it fixed. Then Anarchy Reaper is going to stay out then and inherit the lead of the Grand Prix. Then fantastic stuff indeed for the Reaper. And as we head on to lap 15, Tom Huffy then is in the pits. Hard compound tyres going on then. Marsky's going to carry on as well. Then Marsky up into P2. Stappen carries on too, as does Jay Hings. So the kick salvers then are going to be in a bit of peril then in terms of sorting out the pit stops then, I think. When they do get there, that is. Groove Ninja is double stacking behind his teammate. Then goodness me, then Kydell, medium compound tyres and a new front wing. Where will he pop out? Then is going to be the question. It's going to be behind Vintage, as Vintage is on a charge then on his hard compound tyres. Goodness me. No, he's ahead of Vintage just about. There we are then, all the pit stops being sorted out then. Mushroom then P15, I think, just about, yes. Irvine and San then battling then through turn 1. Then Hussein's gone through as well, then up into P12. But I think that most people then on the hard, or just pitting on the hard compound tyres, will be able to get to the end of the race. And unfortunately for Kydell, he's going to have to make another stop in this race, I'm pretty sure. Potentially he could go medium to the end of this race then and do 10 laps on the stint then. Huffy has tried to get himself past Jay Hings at an unconventional pace, and I think has sent him into a spin there then, so Jay Hings is not having any of that then, and nor should he at this point, because I think he's going to be coming into the pit lane very soon. Reaper is in the pit lane. Marsky is going to stay out then. Wab Stappen's also in the pit lane. Jay Hings has to stay out, I think, here, because he doesn't want to double stack behind his teammate. But of course he will have fresher tyres towards the end of this race as well then, as we head onto the main straight. We've got a problem then. It's Liam's left the session. Then we've got a problem for San. Then San's had a problem then at the same sector we just saw as Tom Huffy having that half spin. Huffy has passed Jay Hings now for P2. Groove Ninja then into net P2 actually as well here then. Of course he wasn't net P2 anyway, because Kydell had to make that stop with a wing change as well, didn't he there? But he's now chasing after Reaper then for that P6 position. And as we head in towards turn 2, then of course he's going to try and use those medium compound tyres to their best advantage then as well. Then Sam's into the pit lane to service that car then. Oh dear, he's crashed into the pit entrance there as well then. And I think there's going to be a pit and quit coming very soon. Is it going to be soon? It's going to be now. When is it going to be? I'm going to try and time it right, but I didn't time it right there. Unfortunately then. So Sam has got a new front wing on the car and back underway then. Potentially, well, what we would like to see is as Tom Huffy's going to line up and move for the lead of the Grand Prix into turn 12. Then Venom picks up a penalty as well, unfortunately. What we would like to see is San stick at it then and go for the fastest lap point in this race. Then it's better to get a racing fastest lap point, as we've got problems for both a Williams and a McLaren at turn 5. Goodness me, turn 5 causing a few shenanigans there, it looks like then. Tom Huffy sets the fast lap race. Marsky into the pit lane. Then Jay Hings is going to carry on again then. So Jay Hings inherits P2. What is going on here then for Kick Sauber then? Have they got a master strategy in their in the palm of their hand? Then we'll wait and see. How is he up into P4? Anarchy Reaper then has been he's been jumped by Howsey somehow. As Kydell trying to go down the inside at turn 1 then on those medium compound tyres has made the move. Vintage P7 then. Shadows, we've got more problems then, another problem then I should say then for it's for Ruthless Venom, who's had an issue at the final turn. Then he's back underway quickly enough though. Real Ashton is into the pit lane then to sort out the tyres on that car. Dan's also back in the pit lane. San is carrying on. Goodness knows what's going on here then, to be honest. Jay Hings is staying out then. This is going to be an interesting strategy then from Jay Hings. Could he go, well, is he going to try and extend the stint and then maybe go for the soft compound tyres? I don't think that would be a good call. But there we go, then I'm not a race engineer. yeah, we'll just wait and see what he's going to be up to then, because Jay Hings really has a plan in mind. And he might lose a few positions, let's just say that then, when he does make his pit stop. But of course, he will be on the freshest tyres of the field when he does make a stop as well. And so it's not all over just yet then for Jay Hings. You know, he might be able to pick away through then in this in the next part of the race, in the second half of the race as we go on to lap 18. Jay Hings is in the pit lane now, so he does decide to call it a day then on these medium compound tyres. So let's see where he filters out then. I think he will be around P15 behind P14, sorry, behind Mushroom, but of course he will have a significantly younger set of tyres on that Kick Sauber as we go through them. So it'll be very interesting to see then. Shadows has passed Vintage for P6, then Wab Stappen also passing Vintage down the inside, and here comes Mr. Elite. And wow, with Vintage not having DRS, then you can see how costly that was. Then down the main straight, then into turn 2, Mr. Elite is pushing him through the corner almost there, but he can't quite make his way past then. So Vintage holds on, and he's got significantly older tyres than the pack around him as well though. So he might be under a bit of pressure then as we go through this stint. Jay Hings P14 then, he's got 6 seconds then on Marsky, but much younger tyres then. Venom, sorry, not Venom, then Real Aston has picked up a penalty then going through into the final turn, unfortunately. Then he's now got San for company as we go through then on to lap 18. Then he moves off the racing line, and San sneaks through with DRS. Dan still going as well then, trying to get himself back in this race then. Our race leader then is Tom Huffy, then his teammate in P2 is Groove Ninja then, and looking pretty strong indeed for an Alpine 1-2 potentially. Then Howsey might have something to say about that. Then could Howsey get another podium this season? I think he's only had one this season, I think back in China I believe. But he is looking strong then to try and pick up a second podium then as we head on to lap 19. Goodness me, I'm getting sweaty. I'm going to have to... bear me 1 second. I have to take the hoodie off. It's getting a bit hot and bothered under the collar there as well then, but well, there we go then. Irvine has snuck through as well then as a Vintage, and is starting to struggle I think on those tyres as well. Then more yellow flags this time. San as well then. San's had an issue, same sector then. Groove Ninja's got a 3-second penalty then. That could promote Howsey then into P2 as it stands as well then. San's back underway. But unfortunately struggling in this race then, as we've got Tom Huffy then leading the way then 9 seconds. Groove Ninja with that penalty then would lose out then to Howsey as it stands, and potentially Anarchy Reaper as well then, as more yellow flags. Dan this time has had a problem then as we go at the exit of, where is that? The exit of turn 13. Goodness me then, oh dearie me then, Dan is having huge problems there for the McLaren team then, just trying to get himself back into the pit lane. San is also in the pits as well then, and to get a new front wing on that Mercedes as well. It looks like Dan into the pits, and Dan is out of the race then. Never mind, ignore me. So there we go then. Howsey then can see the penalty then for his rivals behind him and in front of him as well, to be fair. So he knows that the pressure is not on him then. He just needs to make sure he keeps it clean and tidy to the end of this Grand Prix then, and he can inherit that P2. Hussein and Mr. Elite are battling then into turn 1. Mr. Elite round the outside then is going to keep the place then as well. Then he has kept the place then. P8 for him then. Irvine I think has passed Mushroom, and Irvine's on slightly older tyres than Mushroom as well then. So he has maybe got them up to temperature then in the window. As we've got Marsky then, Jay Hings as well. Then Jay Hings is bringing that gap down then on the hard compound tyres, getting himself back in contention as well then. Vintage is on much older tyres compared to Jay Hings. I think Vintage might have to make a second stop in this race, and we'll have to wait and see then when he times that as well. Then Howsey is now under pressure from Kydell then on his medium compound tyres, but Kydell, we believe, will have to make another stop. I don't think he can get those mediums to the end of this race here, unfortunately then for the front row driver then. P2 then from Kydell then in the qualifying then, but unfortunately it's gone awry then in sector 2 then a few laps ago there, with the damage then to the front wing. But there we go. So far so good then. Pit stops then. No, that's just the penalty coming up then. Goodness me. Right there, good stuff. As here comes Howsey then. Here comes Kydell then with the DRS, I should say, then in towards turn 1. Is he going to be close enough to make the move? No, not quite. Then in the braking zone, he closes in then, but he's not close enough then. As into turn 2, I think he's got less of a straight to make that move, and he's going to stay P4. Hussein has passed Mr. Elite down the inside into turn 1, but Mr. Elite once again trying to hold it around the outside. This time Hussein holds on to P8 and stays P8 for now as well then. good stuff indeed. Vintage then has got Jay Hings, and Jay Hings has gained a second and a half, I think, in that previous lap then. So Jay Hings on the freshest hard compound tyres of the field is looking to get himself back in contention here then, and like I said, he was extending that medium stint earlier on then, wasn't he, to maybe get that tyre advantage then towards the end of this Grand Prix. Then the tyres then, as we saw on the medium stint, are going to be quite terrible indeed for the hard runners, especially those who pitted a few laps earlier than they expected as well then. So potentially Jay Hings could come in and clean up, and he probably will. So there we go, good stuff. Kydell then, is he going to be starting to struggle on those medium compound tyres very soon? I think he's done 7 laps now on those tyres, potentially just trying to get himself to around lap 25 then, to that pit window then, to go for another set of mediums then to the end of the Grand Prix. He will have to time everything accordingly as well then. Once again, oh dear me, San is off the circuit, he's gone the wrong way. He needs to try and get it in the first gear then. Get it into first gear and go forwards to spin the car around, and there we go then, he's got himself sorted. Fantastic. But Sam then unfortunately not having a good time. That the same as Venom as well then, but they are still soldiering on in this race as it stands. Where have we got? We've got some more battle then. I need to get off this camera. Then there we go. Mr. Elite then holds on to P9. Then Irvine then is caught up to this battle as well. Has Mushroom then, as has Marsky then. Vintage is going to be under pressure from Jay Hings. I think at the end of this lap then there's an 8-lap disparity between the tyres, between the Kick Sauber then, between the Kick Sauber then and the Williams driver as well. Then as we go through into sector 2, and Jay Hings then needs to keep those snaps under control then before he can get himself past Vintage, but he's already caught up to DRS then as well. It has the Kick Sauber driver, the good stuff indeed. This battle resumes through sector 2. And this is where the dirty air kicked in as well then. Reaper then on the hard compound tyres, he's not having much luck then at this stage, but potentially when Kydell's tyres start to drop off, he will be able to get himself back in the mix as we go through here then. Groove Ninja then in the foreground, and then comes Housing, and he's just outside of that 1 second window of Groove Ninja. Then Kydell is stayed within the DRS then, but now Reaper has got that rear wing open as well then as we head on to lap 23. Verstappen up into P6 then, looking strong indeed, and Shadows as well trying to get himself back underway then, has held station then and is now on into the fight as well. Then Kydell will promote him up another place then as Jay Hings has passed Vintage. Where is that? Well, Vintage is in the pit then, that's why then. So Vintage is calling it a day then on these hard compound tyres after 13 laps then. Jay Hings inherits P13 and now can chase after Marsky then, Serious Mushroom, Irvine, Mr. Elite then, and Hussein as well then. So Jay Hings and potentially even Shadows. Jay Hings could be in contention for a P7 here then. Tom Huffy's got a 3-second penalty, but as it stands it doesn't matter then, unless there's any issues then for the Alpine machine. Then he is leading by 12 seconds to his teammate then, who's now just keeping an eye on what's behind him here, I think, rather than looking forward. Then he is just trying to manage the gap then and keep Howsey out of that DRS window as well then, and hope that later on in this race then, as San has retired, he's in the pit lane. That's 3 drivers out of the Grand Prix here then, as we are getting through the race quite quickly indeed, and hopefully everybody else retires then very soon and I can go to bed. Mr. Elite then as well then chasing after Hussein then, but he's very close to dropping out that 1 second window. There is Marsky in the background as well then. Jay Hings has got that gap then down from 6 seconds to 4.7, 4.8, and he is on a charge as well then, so watch out for Jay Hings in the latter stages of this race. And here comes Anarchy Reaper then passing Kydell for P4, and I think Kydell's tyres are done and dusted here. So he will have to think about a pit stop in the near future as well then. How is he then as well then is chasing? I've got more yellow flags. More yellow flags. Was it Tom Huffy then, or was it just a lap car of Ashton trying to get himself out of the way? Irvine and Mr. Elite are having a battle as well then, as Mr. Elite is held on to P9. But here comes Irvine down the inside of turn 2. Is he going to try and hold it round here then into turn 3? It's going to be close side by side, but he sneaks through up into P9 then. Mushroom in the mix as well then, as is Marsky then. Of course they're on younger tyres than the 2 ahead of them as well then, so they can just play the patient game then. All this battling is going to help Jay Hings catch up as well then, and potentially we've got Vintage as well, who's now on fresh tyres too then. So Vintage is in P14, he's on for some points already, potentially looking for more then. Venom is going to be in the points paying position as well then. Real Ashton then is hopefully going to get himself back in the mix as well then. Venom will have to pit again, I'm sure, because those tyres are getting a bit too old then for the Aston Martin driver. There was a great overtake overtake from Reaper then for fourth place then, says Dino as well. And now he's chasing after his family members then of Housey, who has got himself within the DRS range then of Groove Ninja here as well. Then this is going to be for a family P2 and 3, I think, here. Of course, unless Groove Ninja's penalty can be removed. Kydell needs to think about a pit stop then, I think, at this stage, then after doing 10 laps then on his medium compound tyres, then they're going to be cooked already. But he's got 10 more laps to go then, so potentially, if he's got another set of mediums in the garage, he can go for those then to the end of the Grand Prix here. Then Housey then is looking to get his best result of his bronze career then, but Reaper's also looking to get his first podium of his bronze career as well. So which one's going to be the favoured driver then out there? Irvine has lost out to Hussein then with that battling with Mr. Elite. I think it's cost him a bit of time there as well. Then Hussein's catching up now to Shadows, but he's on 1 lap older tyres as well there. Mushroom then, Marvsky, Jay Hings now 3.5 seconds behind. Then he can see them in the distance then as we go towards turn 4 then and heading through sector 2. We'll find out if Jay Hings can close that gap in as well then going through here. Housey is my uncle, great race from him as well. Then happy for you, mate, says Dino as well. Then yes, we can't say enough nice things, I should say, about Housey then. He has been an absolute gentleman indeed then. So let's see if Housey can get himself at P2 to celebrate then with a fantastic race as well then. Into the pits comes Kydell, so he is going to call it a day then on those medium compound tyres then. And I think, oh no, he's got a 10-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. And it goes from bad to worse for Kydell. He's going to go on to medium compound tyres. It's a slow stop then. A very slow stop indeed, and unfortunately then that's going to cost him even more time. And Jay Hings, I think, will be able to sneak through then for P12 then, unfortunately for Kydell. That slow stop then and the penalty then will be costly indeed. He will still be able to hold on to the points paying positions, and of course with the pace on the medium compound tyres could gain some places. Groove Ninja's got another penalty, I think they're going through turn 4. And he's starting to struggle on those tyres. It looks like they're sliding out of turn 5 as well there for the Alpine machine then. But he's holding on then for the best he can do. Then currently he would be, I think, P4 as it stands, which is where he started the race, of course. But he wants to get better than that then, of course, as well then. So hopefully, we'll be hoping that the drivers behind him get penalties as well. Then Kydell's got another 3-second penalty. Goodness me, unfortunately for Kydell then it has gone horribly wrong then in this race then after a fantastic qualifying, but hopefully he can get himself to the end of this race then, at least get himself some points on the board. He is in P4 in the Drivers' Championship for a reason, of course. Right then, how is he going round the final corner then onto lap 27, and let's see, can Housey close in then with the DRS then in towards turn 1 and line up a move for that P2 position? He's getting closer. He's getting closer, but he's not close enough then into turn 1 then. And he stays P3 for the time being then on the exit of turn 1 then. Into the pits comes Irvine. So Irvine's done 14 laps on his hard compound tyres and decided that is enough then. So potentially are we going to see more two-stop strategies around here? Hard compound tyres going on then. And if he maybe didn't have any mediums left to go then, unfortunately for Irvine, then he's back out then on a new set of boots then, but unfortunately will be coming out in P13. Mr. Elite is under pressure from Serious Mushroom, then Mask is in the fight as well. Then here comes Jay Hings. Jay Hings now 2 seconds away from this battling pack. He's struggling to keep that car pointing in the right direction and out of turn 2 then on the power then for Jay Hings as we go through into turn 4 into sector 2 for the 27th time as well here then. Right then, I haven't mentioned Tom Huffy because he's too far out in front. He's doing a great job then of controlling the race, even after a spin as well then. Both the race leaders have had a spin then in this race, Kydell and Tom Huffy. Then unfortunately it came off worse for Kydell with the damage as well then. But fair play indeed then for getting yourself back underway then. He's got back up to P12 then, of course, with Irvine's pit stop, but he needs to try and hold on to that situation as well. With the penalty situation for Kydell, then that will be added onto his race time, and he might lose out to Irvine as it stands. We'll wait and see then as we get to the checkered flag, of course. Here we go then into turn 1. Then Housey once again not close enough to make the move. Then he stays P3. Reaper then in P4 then is just sitting there waiting for biding his time as we go in towards turn 1. This time we've got Hussein and Shadows then for P6. going through onto lap 28 then, and Serious Mushroom down the inside at turn 1 is making the moves. Then he's up into P8, then passing Mr. Elite here then as we head down towards turn 2. Then on lap 28 then he's up into P8. Good stuff indeed. Then Jay Hings now only 1.8 seconds away, but Kaidel on his medium compound tyres, of course, just pitting as well. Then he's going to be pretty rapid and trying to get himself past that kick salver as quickly as possible here. Then of course penalties for Kaidel then will drop him behind Jay Hings at the end of the race. But maybe it might be worth a tactic then, as Jay Hings is going to catch up, I think, on this lap. Then he is almost 1.1 seconds. He's now almost 1 second away. There he is into the chicane as we go through here then. But Kaidel's going to be breathing down his neck. Then Jay Hings will be able to get in the DRS range then of the pack ahead as well. Then so that will get him into the contention. But Kaidel's almost going to be pushing him through sector 2 into sector 3 as we go then into the final sector then of lap 28. And Kaidel looking to try and make a move, but he can't quite sneak his way through there. Then he might be able to on the exit then into turn 13 and 14 then, but not quite at this stage. Then this is a train then all the way up to P8 then with Mushroom leading the way. Then he's now got Mr. Elite then, who's trying to get himself back up into P8 then and passing the Mushroom with Marvsky, Jay Hings and Kaidel now all in the mix here as we go down towards turn 1. Kaidel is on a charge, but of course does have a lot of penalties to his name as well then, so Jay Hings I don't think is fighting it even into turn 1 because he wants to play the long game here, and maybe he can use Kaidel to try and sneak his way through as well then as we head into the final part of this race then as well. Then lap 29 then soon to become lap 30 as we are looking very strong indeed. Then there's a lot of pace out there as well then, but we've got a bit of a split then between the groups of cars now heading into sector 2 then on lap 29. Sorry, Marvsky picks up a penalty unfortunately, and that's going to be costly indeed. That'll cost him another place to Jay Hings. And Kaidel, Kaidel's trying to sneak down the inside. Goodness me, then through the chicane. Wow, that was a move and a half then from Kaidel. What a move. And we just about caught the end of that then, but Kaidel then was not taking any prisoners there as well. Then on his fresh medium compound tyres, he was flying through. And he did fly through indeed as well then, so good stuff. And he's now putting the pressure on Mr. Elite then for P9, and round down the inside then they're going to squeeze through together then, but he has squeezed through on his medium compound tyres. Next target is his teammate Mushroom. But of course, Mushroom I think might be a bit more of a fair game then. Real Ashton's back in the pits, soft compound tyres going on. Kaidel then out of turn 14 then is going to be all over the back of his teammate here. But the problem with for Kaidel then is going to be the penalty situation as well. Then as we head in towards turn 1. He's not gaining on his teammate that much. As we go into turn 1, he's going to go around the outside. He's going to have to go the long way. And he has gone the long way around there. Goodness me, Jay Hings is off the circuit. He's won himself back on there, but a bit of off-roading then from Jay Hings as he goes off the exit of turn 1. But he's going to inherit at least 2 positions here with the penalties ahead. So that'll be P10 then for him then as well. Then we've got a lap car I think right behind us, so the lap car then will not interfere there with Jay Hings or the pack ahead as well. Then Housley then is starting to struggle, is he then, because he's almost lost out of that 1 second window. We've got Reaper then as well holding on to the back of that podium as it stands in at this moment in time. Then Wab Stappen looking strong in P5 then. We haven't spoken about Wab Stappen very much, but he has done a great job in this race to get himself up into P5 then, and potentially potentially he could get P4 actually, because of the penalties for Groove Ninja. Then we'll have a look at the penalty situation. 6 seconds then for Groove Ninja then would put him behind Wab Stappen as it stands in, so it would be P5 for the Alpine then, and Wab Stappen would inherit that P4 position. 16 seconds for Kaidel then would drop him all the way down to P13 I think again. Unfortunately then for Kaidel then, Serious Mushroom then has been left in the dust for now by his teammate, but of course penalties then will bring him back into contention. Mr. Elite then is P10 then, looking to line up a move on Mushroom for P9. Marvsky then as well is going to be under pressure. And then we've got a Williams, sorry that is, of I think that's Real Ashton trying to get himself back unlapped or what he's trying to do there, but oh dear, that Aston Martin is a bit unhappy with that, it looks like, as we go through then on to lap 31 then. So it's not vintage, it's Real Ashton, isn't it, on the soft compound tyres as we go through turn 5 then. So yes, Real Ashton is not in he's in a hurry, I should say, on those soft compound tyres. Right then, out in front, Mushroom's got a 3-second penalty unfortunately there as well. Then that's going to be costly indeed for Mushroom there. Well, it's going to cost him two places, that is. But of course, as it stands, that is as well. So it's not all over just yet then. Hussein then still can't get past Shadows for the time being as well. Then Housy's caught back up now to Groove Ninja then as we go through onto lap 32. And could be within range then of making that move on track then for the P2 position. Then here he goes into turn 1. He's going to go for the inside line and late on the brakes, locking up there on the brakes on both front tyres. Then as we go around the outside, then Anarchy Reaper's had a bit of a squirrely moment there as well. Then and Groove Ninja's going to sneak back through. Then he's back up into P2. Then he holds on. Then good defending and good racing then indeed from both of them as well. Wabstappen then has brought himself closer into contention with that. Shadows then holding on to P6 and still ahead of Hussein for the time being. Then Kydell with his penalty then is well, he's going to lose out quite a few spots there as well then, isn't he? Jay Hings is going to inherit 3 positions now and put himself up into P9, I should say. Marsky then is still putting the pressure on then, as is Mr. Elite then, so Mushroom then might be able to get that penalty removed then. Oh dear, Jay Hings has got a penalty then, the exit of turn 3 I think that was then, so he's now going to have to do the fighting on track then, but of course, as we saw earlier, his tyres are going to be in much better nick. Oh dear, not with that though, unfortunately, but they're going to be in much better nick than those ahead of him as well then, so we'll wait and see. Irvine as well is catching up then, he's on much fresher tyres, making that second stop then as well then, so Irvine could get himself a bunch of positions here actually. We'll have to wait and see then as we close in then on to the final laps then of this Grand Prix. Then Jay Hings is pushing Marsky through the corners here, and on a charge then is Jay Hings then, as we head into the final sector then of lap 32 I think. Mushroom then holding on. Kydell then, can he get the gap then? He's caught up to Hussein then, and this battle then for P6 here as well then, but of course with the penalties Kydell is going to lose quite a few seconds of time. That's great commentating. But potentially this might help him as well then to try and extend the gap then, and we'll have to wait and see then where he does line up then. As Irvine, you've got a yellow flag. It's a problem then for a Ferrari. It's Kydell who's had an issue. Oh my goodness me then. Kydell needs to spin the car around then, and he is going to be able to spin the car around, but he's had an issue at the exit of turn 1 then. We saw he just caught up to the battle then with Hussein then and Shadows then, but he's got damage now to that end plate then on the Ferrari unfortunately, and that's going to be costly indeed then. He still might have time to get himself a point in this race, although he will have to serve a 10-second penalty if he does make his pit stop, doesn't he? Right then, who's got the fastest lap? It's Tom Huffley with an 18.3 for the time being. So currently the pole sitter is looking for the Grand Slam then. 21 seconds the gap then, 21 seconds. That's my special version. Irvine has passed Jay Hings for P11. But of course Irvine's on a brilliant charge now as well. Then Irvine could get himself back up to P9 I think, with the penalties for Marsky and Mushroom as it stands then. Of course persons can be looked at and removed after the race if they were the ones were picked up deemed illegally or deemed unfairly, I should say, goodness me. Housey, Groove Ninja and Reaper then are all in a bit of a queue then for that P2 position as it stands. Then Wabstappen has been brought back into this race for that podium place as well then, so potentially he could catch up then. We've only got 1.5 laps to go here. Hussein still can't get past Shadows though then, as Mr. Elite and Marsky are having a battle then on the exit. There's a yellow flag. What's that for? Was it Jay Hings? I think it might have been Jay Hings there. There's a, well dear, Mr. Elite locking up then into turn 2, and that could brought Jay Hings back into contention here. But goodness me then, as Kydell's going to carry on then. Kydell is just soldiering on those medium compound tyres then, at least to get himself to the checkered flag here. Then he might be able to get himself a points paying position then, although Venom's in the pit lane, so he will be able to get himself a points paying position then as well. So there we go. Here comes Tom Huffy then to start off the final lap of the Grand Prix. And as he heads through into turn 1 then, keeping it nice and clean this time then. Of course he doesn't want to make any have any issues like another spin. And so far so good then for Tom Huffy then, looking in control. Then here comes this battle though for P2 then, and now Wabstappen has got himself involved. Irvine passes Mushroom for P8 then as well then, as here comes Housey then out of the pit lane. That's Venom there trying to get himself out of the way. He doesn't want to interfere with this pack coming through then, and now into turn 2 then. I think it's going to stay status quo. It is for now then, so good stuff indeed. Hussein then still can't get past Shadows. Shadows is holding on then to that P6 position on his birthday. Of course he wants to get to a good result then, is looking good indeed so far in this Grand Prix as well. Then heading through, then we've got even more things going on there as well. Then as Hussein and Shadows are still battling then as well. Then the top 5 of the top 4 are still battling as well. Then where is Tom Huffy then as he rounds turn 13 for the final time? Then he is going to round the final corner then for the Alpine machine then and take the victory here then in Hungary. Then it's going to be a fantastic race win, a Grand Slam performance then from Tom Huffy then, and he crosses the line to take the victory here in Hungary. Then fantastic stuff indeed. How many penalties has Ninja got then? I think 6 seconds there, as we'll go through then the penalty situation. Well, they'll be added on as they cross the line now, as here comes the Alpine machine then, and he will drop behind Housie, Reaper and Wab Stappen as well. Then it's going to be best results of the season then for Housie, for Reaper then, and for Wab Stappen as well here. Then Groove Ninja drops down to P5 in the end there. Shadows then will cross the line in P6, and on his birthday then Hussein P7. Irvine will cross the line in P8 in the end here then, and claim that position as well, ahead of Mushroom then in P9, Narsky in P10. Venom has left the session. Mr. Elite inherits P9 actually then with the penalty situation. Then Jay Hings P12. Kydell will drop behind Vintage, and Vintage will inherit P13. Venom claims the final points paying position in the end there. Real Ashton P16, then Kydell's got his 10-second penalty serve then, but Vintage now will come round the final corner and wrap up the race and be P13 in the end then as well. Goodness me. Right, that was done. Good stuff indeed. Well done then to all the drivers then for getting through that race as well. Then it was a long old race in the end, wasn't it there? 35 laps then completed here in Hungary. Then Tom Huffy then the Grand Slam finish then here in the Hungaroring then, of course with Housie in P2. A brilliant podium indeed from Housie then. Best result of the season as well then, after a P3 then in China, I believe it was then as well then. And Reaper then with his first podium then of the season, his first podium then of league racing as well then. Fantastic stuff indeed then from the Mercedes driver then for Reaper, claiming that final podium spot. Dino has said he's super proud of you as well then. Well done indeed for that one as well then. And there is the classification then for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Well done indeed as well then, as we got the party starting as well then for the interviews. We'll run through the classification as well then, if you could mute your mic please. And there we go then, as that is the 19 drivers then who finish in, or only 16 drivers finished actually in the end, but there we go. Right, interviews. Tom Huffy, fantastic race from yourself then. So how did that go from your point of view?
Yeah, bit of a scare early on, obviously with the spin, but once I forced that Ferrari into an error, I kind of knew I had that race in the palm of my hands.
And you had the spin then in that first stint then that cost you the lead at that point. But did you have the race under control? Did you know what you were going to do to get yourself back in?
Yeah, I was under. I think the Ferrari had a 3-second penalty. I stayed within 3 seconds, and just from there, I felt really relaxed and really calm.
And a fantastic win then. It gets you into closer contention with R2 Beat then, of course, who wasn't racing tonight then. What's your thoughts then going into the last 7 races or whatever it is then of the season then? Can you try and clinch the top spot?
Yeah, absolutely. And well, I knew the Red Bull wasn't going to race, so I knew if I ever wanted to bridge the gap, tonight was the perfect chance, and I think I maximised that to the best of my ability.
Great stuff indeed, and congratulations then for the Grand Slam as well then. Brilliant stuff indeed from Tom Huffy then, our race winner here in Hungary. We've got Housie then, P2 from Housie. Best result of the season then. How are you feeling after that one?
I'm super thrilled, to be honest with you, bud. Good evening, by the way. I mean, look, I had that podium in China, I think it was, early doors, round 2, round 3, and didn't think I'd eclipse that. That was a P3, which, you know, seemed to just come out of nowhere. Bit of a head down job, and over the line was like, how the hell did that happen? But yeah, to go P2 tonight. Obviously, yeah, ecstatic to go one place better. I feel a little bit more like I'm legit now in the ALR family, having at least 2 podiums. So. Yeah, very, very good. Obviously pleased that my nephew has just scored his first podium in a league race right behind me, and my good mate Wab was obviously P4 as well. So from the 3 of us, yeah, couldn't be happier really. Good race.
And did you think it was on the cards then as you got yourself started in this race, or did you just have to, as you said in China, then take it easy then and just keep the car on the track and get to the line?
Well, I can't even remember where I started. Would I start P10? So never expected a podium from P10. Obviously, I think the pace has been very quick this season here for the front aliens. It's a job to know whether the pace of the aliens last season was better or worse than the pace at the moment. But certainly, it feels like the whole grid in terms of pace has actually improved this season from last. Even though we lost such great drivers up to silver, obviously other great drivers have come in, but the pace is phenomenal this year. So to be honest with you, just to be inside the top 10 is a fantastic achievement for any driver, to be honest with you. So yeah, podium, really good, and never expected it. Just head down, got a good start, sat in behind Reaper for a little bit. Then as the tyres wearing off, it seemed that we were picking up a bit of pace compared to others. Did a bit of an early stop for myself, just undercut by like a lap, which managed to get me past Reaper. And then, after that, it was a case of like looking up and thinking, well, hang on a minute, how did we get here again? But then it was just a case, keep your head down, keep it clean. Obviously, I knew Reaper was behind me. I knew Webb Staffing was closing him as well. We're all in a chat, so the pieces of the puzzle were starting to click in with probably 7 laps to go, something like that. And then it was just a case of all three of us just keeping it clean, keeping it in the track limits, and bringing home the results, to be honest.
And well, on the note of the speed, we are looking at planning to do something about balancing the divisions next season as well. Then, so there we go. It might be more interesting next season. But anyway, well done indeed then for that fantastic result, of course. And again, another podium under your belt. Then, do you reckon you can get some more then in the last 7 races of the season?
To be honest with you, I didn't think after China I'd be ever seeing another one. So my honest opinion is no, but obviously again on today's showing that anything is possible. I think it takes a few of the faster lads to maybe have a bit of an off evening, or maybe just selected tracks that I seem to go better on. That I'll never say never, but it's not really my fight, to be honest with you. But can I just want to give a shout out to Styles, Reflection, Smithy, Dynamo Dan. Obviously some of those boys obviously up to silver this season, and I always speak to them every week, wishing them luck. They wish me luck and all that, and I think that's got a lot to do with it in terms of people supporting you and supporting each other. That's what's so good about ALR, to be fair. So yeah, great job.
Well, thank you very much, and then we'll see you back on the podium. Then I'm sure then we'll do a few more China and Hungary races next season. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, nice one.
Congratulations.
Cheers for the stream, mate.
P2 tonight as well then, and for the first time on the podium then we've got Anarchy Reaper as well then, and well, that was a brilliant race from yourself then. Of course, you had the family connection up there on the top steps as well at the end of that race. Then how was that race from your point of view?
Oh, thank you very much, mate. Good evening. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's the best feeling I've had on this game, I can't lie. I've been grinding hard and getting some coaching and listening and trying to improve as much as I can, and tonight proves it for me. It's what it's all about. Up there with my uncle, up there with Wab. It's what it's about for me.
And am I right in thinking this is your first league racing career? I think from
Yes.
was your first race here.
Yeah, I got the game at Christmas, so we're not doing too bad, mate. Hopefully continue to improve, but we'll see how it goes. I've been putting in the hours, so yeah, kind of glad, to be honest with you.
Well, we were saying in the qualifying, I was saying in the qualifying that in the last few races, then we've seen that improvement already. Then, so looking forward to seeing what you do for the next few races as well. Then, what's the plan then going into the next part of the season? Then 7 races to go then as well. Do you reckon you can be up here on the podium then with your uncle a few more times?
Hopefully, mate. I'm gonna believe in myself and see how we go. To be honest with you, I don't expect anything. I expect to finish. That's about it. If we finish, that's good enough.
That's the best thing about racing as well. Then just try and get to the finish line.
Exactly. No penalties. Get there, and wherever we come, we come. But a podium is a bonus.
And a fantastic race as well here tonight from there was a trio of you in the end there, wasn't there?
Yes.
Did you have it under control? Did you know the podium was in sight in the last few laps then, or were you just trying to make sure you got to the finish line as you said?
Well, mainly making sure I made it to the finish line, but also, as Halsey said, we're in a chat. We're all talking together. We're focusing on what we need to do and how we need to do it, and we're doing it. So that's what matters.
Well, congratulations as well for the first podium of the season as well then. And yeah, hopefully many more to come as well then.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
Brilliant stuff indeed. And that is it for the Hungarian round of round 10. We'll be back in action then from Sunday night then in China as well then for a 100% race if you want to join us for that. But we will be, of course, in Zandvoort then from gold for gold on Monday, then silver on Tuesday, and of course in a week's time for bronze as well. Then, so stay tuned to ALR. There's plenty more action coming up then, and we'll see you very soon.